Hello and welcome to my session wherein I'll be talking about how to amplify confidence to exude it effortlessly. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Preeti Gupta. I'm Vice President at Brown Brothers Harriman, wherein my team is leading the effort of building next generation data platform using state-of-the-art technology in financial space. With over 2 decades of years of experience, I have had the privilege to work with companies like Morgan Stanley and IBM. I'm well versed with architecting and designing software application. As a fervent advocate of increasing female representation in technical space, I do volunteer my time with organizations such as Tech Girls and few others to inspire the women leaders of next generation. It's a pleasure to be here. Let's start. We'll start the session with what is confidence, why does it matter, where do women stand on confidence scale, and then we'll wrap up the session with some of the strategies that you can follow to build upon it. So what is confidence? A renowned co-author of the book, The Confidence Code, Kathy Kay, explains it as confidence is the purity of action produced by a mind free of doubt. It's a belief in oneself. It's a state of being certain. It has nothing to do with what is happening in the outer world. It's always generated from within. Now, why does it matter? And some of you might be saying, obviously, of course, but just to keep it in perspective, it helps you to build in yourself, in your ability. It helps you, it enables you to overcome obstacles and challenges. It allows you to take risk and step out of your comfort zone. It helps you to make better decisions and trust your judgment and many more. Now, the essence of this talk, women and confidence. As per Women Confidence Report 2021, only 3 to 4% women reported to have high level of confidence. As you can see in the graph, ladies, we have a long way to go. Now let's look some of the barriers why women lack confidence. I'm sure there are many more, but let's just go over some of them. Self-defeating assumptions. So it's the negative view about yourself and the things around you. The author of Lean In, Sheryl Sandberg, she correctly states that talented women tend to leave before they leave. We make these assumptions in our head that what will happen when we get married, when we have kids, and we tend to start departing before we actually depart. DIY. It's a trap to believe that you can just do it yourself without a team or a support system. Unrealistic goals. See, confidence comes with small wins that happen frequently. It doesn't come when you have this tall, big, hairy, audacious goals. Defensiveness. It's one thing to listen to a critic and respond to it, and it's another to actually answer when they have not even done anything. Perfectionism. It's a thought that you're never good enough. It only results into procrastination and failure. Imposter syndrome. It's often reported in women because of gender stereotypes and biases. Women may feel that they don't deserve the success they have achieved and fear that they'll be exposed as a fraud if they're not perfect. This word is pretty in woman word, woman in general, woman word. I'm sure you must have heard about it. So we'll dig deep more on it and see what are the implications of imposter syndrome. 2019 imposter syndrome research study showed that women reported suffering from imposter syndrome. 30% said they choose not to volunteer for opportunity that would allow their skills to shine. 45% said they don't apply for promotions for the fear of being found out as a fraud. 51% said that they put their success down to fluke, timing, or team effort rather than owning their own abilities. 61% said they are less likely to speak up with great ideas for the fear of being criticized or found out. Based on Hewlett-Packard internal report, why women don't apply for jobs unless they are 100% qualified. These are the main factors, and 40% said that they don't apply. So based on the research, it showed that women has to tick all the check boxes in the job responsibilities, wherein men, if they meet 60% of the criteria, they'll just go and apply. What is confidence gap? It refers to the discrepancy between the skills and abilities a person has versus their belief in their abilities. This gap is often observed between men and women, with women experience lower levels of confidence, of course. Evidence shows that that to succeed, you need confidence as much as you need competence. Let's shift our focus from women from identifying problems with women and confidence to identifying solutions and how to address them. I suggest starting with self-evaluation. Here are some of the self-evaluation quizzes, including Nice Girls Don't Get Corner Office, which I find helpful. Since you are in my session, I sense you are seeking confidence boost, and I encourage you to take one of these quizzes and figure out where you stand before you start. I personally took this quiz, Nice Girls Don't Get Corner Office. And once you give this quiz, it gives you an aggregate score, and then you will know which bucket you fall in. So when I started, I was in the first bucket where I was dangerously close to sabotaging my career. I'm trying my way to work. I'm working hard to actually go to the last bucket where I'm doing a good work, and it's working out for me. Before we look into the strategies, let's look at some of the myths about confidence. Can it be learned? Yes, it can be learned. Do confident people fail? They do. Do they experience fear? Yes. Do they feel perfect and confident all the time? I don't think so. Next set of slides will be touching upon individual criteria to build upon to develop confidence. So the first one is the self-limiting belief. To address that, you can follow these 3 steps. First, you identify that belief, challenge it, and change your narrative. So, for example, instead of saying, I'm not qualified for the role, you list down the experience and skills that you have that makes you qualified for it. And then you rewrite your narrative saying that I'm ready for the job, whatever I don't have, a big deal. I will just learn and be good at it. I was lucky to get this job. Instead of that, you can say you match your skill set with the job responsibilities and the achievements that you have done, and then say, I'm qualified for the job. Positive body language. This is one of the best slides in my whole deck. It's one of my favorite. So Amy Cuddy, author of revolutionary book Presence, says your body language shapes who you are. So if you look into the top row, it shows the confidence, and where if you look in the bottom row, the people are there, they're slouching, they're curling their body, and they're less confident. And apparently she has a name for all these poses. So I'll go over that. So the first one is the big chill. So not necessarily all the time you want to show confidence when you are in a professional setting. It doesn't hurt to show confidence when you are relaxing. So next time when you are lounging on a chair, take as much space as you want and see what difference does it make. The second one is the lean out. Traditionally, in a conversational setting, we have been told to lean in a way to convey, lean in to show interest in the conversation. Whereas sometimes when you lean out, it conveys power. So, for example, if you are you're taking a job interview, or if you are in a panel, this pose may help. The next one is pretty explanatory. It's the Wonder Woman. So basically, you put your hands on your hip and you put your legs in Linda Carter's style. The next one is the feet on furniture. It's like we've been told that it's rude to put feet on furniture, but sometimes if you put your feet on furniture and you put your hands behind your head, you feel you give impression of being more in control and convey power. Now, it's a counterintuitive pose, so it's difficult to pull off in the sense that you should not be using it when you're negotiating with the boss. But if you are talking to someone on the phone, then this may help. The next one is the table topper. So if you are talking to a taller colleague, lean in on the table and use your arms to take support. This gives you more real estate within the room, being a smaller person. She has many more power poses like that, and I highly recommend to listen to her talk and read her book. Own your achievements. One of the things that women feel is that, like, talking about their achievements, it's as if you're bragging, and they treat it as a self-aggrandizing. Well, it is not in the sense that we assume that people should know what we did. Maybe they do. It just doesn't hurt to remind it, right? So here are some of the ways to basically talk about it and still not come out as a braggart. So take the credit of your work, of your hard work only. Give credit where it's due. People love to listen here stories about teamwork rather than being I, me, kind of. Everybody loves down to earth person, so do express gratitude where it's due. Stick to the facts. So stick to self-disclosure rather than self-praise. So, for example, rather than saying, I'm an excellent programmer, you can just say that the code quality has improved significantly since the time I've taken the ownership, something like that. Humble bragging. It often comes out as arrogance. So, for example, just an hypothetical example, a lot of times some ladies or girl will say that, it was so hard for me to choose between Louis Vuitton bag versus Prada. And some of you would be like, really? Just an example. Growth mindset. So have a growth mindset. It's basically viewing intelligence and personality as a trait which can be developed over a period of time, rather than saying that this is how you are born with it, right? So instead of saying that I'm either good at it or I'm not, you say I like to learn new things. Instead of saying that my potential is predetermined or feedback and criticism are personal, you can say that I can learn to do anything I want. Failures are opportunities to grow, and challenges help me develop and grow. Tame your nerves, very important. Confident people stay relaxed even in high pressure situations. Of course, we know that. Exude confidence often involves finding a way to deal with feelings of anxiety. And there are some of the things that you can do. So very first thing is accept your emotions, that if you are feeling nervous, anxious, that's okay to feel it. Anxious and nervous, and then be okay with it. Then take a pause, deep breath, and say it aloud, I'll handle it. Famous author Escher Hillesum once quoted that sometimes the best thing during the day we do is the pause that we take between two deep breaths. And it's so very true. Judging, we are often worried about how will people judge ourselves. But the thing is that people do have other things to think about, and they have their own worries. They're not really focusing as much as you think they are. So stop worrying about that. Acknowledge that it's just not you. There are other people who are going through the same experiences. So it's just not you who's alone and who's weird. It's not. And this will help you to be relatable to your feelings and to your surroundings. Self-talk. It's the pep talk or the positive self-talk that you give yourself. So drop all the negative, not, can't, no from the left side and switch to the right side, where everything is okay. This is something I gave it to myself before I came to this session. Be present. Being fully present allows you to tap into your talents and make mindful choices, which boosts your confidence. It requires you to have present focused mindset, which is free from the distractions from the past and the future. Find a role model, very important. Elizabeth Marble quoted, if you can see it, you can be it. And I believe in that. KPMG conducted a survey and they reported 9 out of 10 women say that they feel they feel encouraged and empowered to see other women in leadership. While it's advised and it's good to have a role model, but it's not always feasible. Like in my case, for a significant period of time, I did not have a role model. And once I got married and had kids, and I was struggling between my responsibilities as a wife, as a mother, and as a professional. However, when my daughter grew older and she started seeking advice from me, I wanted her to be fearless and confident. So now when I'm uncertain, I pretend as if she is asking me for an advice, and I try to respond in a way I want her to respond. So I call it, it's my way of auto correction. It's similar to like we build softwares with auto recovery and auto failure features, auto correction features. Practice, very important. Confidence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So Amy Cuddy, which I referred in the past in some of the slides before, in her book Presence, she says that fake it till you make it. So keep practicing, keep faking it till you become it. Sometimes there are, even though we are not feeling confident, we are so nervous, but we still have to exude confidence, even when you're not feeling it. Here are some of the things that you change in your posture, the way you dress, and it may give you a boost that you need. So stand tall, sit up straight, don't slouch, speak your mind out without apology, gesturing. It helps you form clearer opinions and tighter sentences. Refrain from fidgeting. We whenever we are anxious, we tend to touch ourselves and fidget our fingers and things like that. It's hard, but stay still. Try to stay still and refrain from fidgeting. Well, it's good to strike eye contact when you start a conversation, but it's very important to maintain it throughout the conversation. Mirroring. It's a technique wherein your body language and your tone of voice mirrors as of theirs, meaning if they lean in, you lean in. If they speak softly or loudly, you follow the suit. Dress the part. That's very easy to pull off. Dress appropriately, that it gives you confidence in yourself. We are not perfect. We don't live in perfect world. We don't have to be perfect. So it's okay if we are wrong. Just apologize. Take responsibility for your actions and move forward. When you're not seeking an answer, don't make your statement sound like a question. That's a lot of people try to do that, and which just doesn't come out as a clearer statement. So don't do that. I'm not an avid reader, but these are some of the books that I have read myself, and I highly recommend it. Nice Girls Don't Get Corner Office. I did refer that in my presentation. Presence, mindset, how to talk to anyone, and many more. So feel free to refer to them and read them. They definitely will help you. These are some of the references. And this is about me. This is my LinkedIn handle and my QR code. I would love to hear your opinions, negative, positive, about this session or for any technical and non-technical session. So feel free to connect with me. This brings me to the end of my presentation. I hope I have given you ample material to reflect upon later on how to develop and exude confidence. Thank you for listening. I do have some questions in the chat. I would love to hear. Thank you so much if you liked it. Thank you so much for the presentation. If you have any questions, anything, please. We just have a minute to go, I suppose. Thank you so much. I hope you liked it, and I hope it makes sense and you may make a difference going forward in your outlook in general. What rituals do I have to keep myself positive? Yeah, I'm not positive all the times, but then, like I said, like you pause. There are so many things that are going wrong, that may be going wrong, but you take a breath, take a pause, think about it, that first of all, what are going wrong, prioritize it, and then address them one by one so that you feel more in control, that, okay, I'm handling, and you make progress. So that gives you a boost in a way that, okay, I ticked this mark, I ticked this kind of, so that helps. And nobody is positive all the time. I don't think that kind of people exist who are always positive. We all go to positive and negative thoughts. It's the way you recover from it that makes a difference. I think that's the end of time, and that's my cue. So thank you for listening, and it's good to connect with you all.